Welcome to the lecture series on the subject Basic Thermodynamics, Module 3, Part 1, Second Law of Thermodynamics. So this is lecture number 5 and myself Dr. N. Satish Kumar, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Bantwal. We will solve numerical on second law of thermodynamics. Now let us take this basic simple problem. An engineer claims to have developed an engine which develops 3.4 kilowatt while consuming 0.44 kg of fuel of calorific value 41,870 kilojoules per kg in 1 hour. The maximum and minimum temperatures recorded in the cycle are 1400 degrees Celsius and 350 degrees Celsius respectively. Is the claim of the engineer genuine? Okay, you see here an engineer builds a heat engine and he says that the engine is developing 3.4 kilowatt. So engine develops 3.4 kilowatt means this is nothing but W. So W is 3.4 kilowatt. While consuming 0.44 kg of fuel of calorific value of 41,870 kilojoules per kg in 1 hour. That means the mass of fuel consumed, MF, if I note it, MF, so it is 0.44 kg per hour. So try to understand this, it's very, very important. So 0 point, so point, okay, 0.44 kg per hour. And the calorific value of the fuel is given, CV. So this calorific value and mass of the fuel, if you multiply, if you look into the unit, so this is kilojoules per kg and this is kg per hour. So that gives the heat input Q. You see, that gives the Q in or QH. Okay, whatever you want you can take. So that is nothing but MF into CV. So now with these two data you can calculate the actual efficiency of the engine which is developed by this engineer. Now all of you know that any engine can have a maximum efficiency equal to the Carnot efficiency or the reversible engine efficiency. For that you should be given the two temperature limits on which this engine is working. That means the temperature limits, source temperature and the reservoir temperature between which this engine is working. So using that you have to find out the maximum efficiency or the Carnot efficiency, and then you have to compare the two efficiencies. As all of you know, the actual efficiency of the engine, if it is less than the Carnot efficiency, so then it is a possible engine. Suppose if they are equal, so then it is a reversible engine. Suppose if the actual efficiency of the engine is more than the Carnot efficiency, so then it is an impossible engine. So now let us check out whether the engineer's claim is correct or not. Okay. So temperature, source temperature is given, that is 1400 degrees Celsius or is equal to 1673 Kelvin. Sink temperature is given 350 degrees Celsius or 623 Kelvin. So in the last slide just now I told you that the efficiency of the Carnot cycle is the maximum between the specified temperature limits, and it is calculated, usually it is calculated by the temperature. Only if it is a reversible heat engine, then you can calculate using the heat also. So eta Carnot is equal to 1 minus QL by QH is equal to 1 minus TL by TH. So all of you should know that this 1 minus QL by QH is equal to 1 minus TL by TH is only for reversible engine. Okay. Now if you substitute the temperatures, so you will get the efficiency of the Carnot engine or the maximum possible efficiency between these two temperature limits is 62.8%. Now let us calculate the thermal efficiency of the engine developed by the engineer, and he says that okay, before that the formula, so you can use the formula eta thermal is equal to 1 minus QL by QH, but for an actual engine this QL by QH is equal to 1 minus QL by QH or eta thermal is also equal to W by QH, or in place of W you can write QH minus QL also, but here QH and W are given, so no need to use the QL term. Now here W is given as 3.4 kilowatt and QH. Now here it is very important. Okay, it is capital H. Okay, just make a change here. It's capital H. Here it is. I told you QH is equal to MF into CV. MF is mass of fuel consumed. It is 0.44 kg per hour, and CV is 41,870 kilojoules per kg. If you multiply these two, you will get kilojoules per hour. But look into the unit of W. So in the efficiency formula, which is W by Q, so both has to be in the same unit. They can be in kilojoules per hour, they can be in kilojoules per minute, or it can be in kilojoules per second or kilowatt also. Now this kilojoules per hour, to convert that into kilowatt, you have to divide it by 3600, so that you will get the answer in kilowatt. So there is no issue to substitute now. So substitute in the thermal efficiency formula, that is actual efficiency, in fact, W by Q. So you will get it as 66.4%. Now just compare. So eta Carnot you calculate in the previous slide, I think it is around 62 point something. Now here it is 66.4. So the actual efficiency is greater than the Carnot efficiency. So do you think it is possible? No. So no engine can have efficiency more than the Carnot efficiency. So the claim of the engineer is not genuine. So that is what is your answer. Okay. Now let us solve this problem. Two Carnot engines A and B are connected in series between two thermal reservoirs maintained at 1000 Kelvin and 100 Kelvin respectively. Engine A receives 1680 kilojoules of heat from the high temperature reservoir and rejects heat to Carnot engine B. Engine B takes in the heat rejected by engine A and rejects heat to the low temperature reservoir. If engine A and B have equal thermal efficiencies, number 1, determine the heat rejected by engine B, the temperature at which heat is rejected by engine A, and the work done during the process by engines A and B respectively. So very interesting problem. Two Carnot engines are connected in series. So you have one engine, right? Let me draw like horizontally now. Later I will draw it vertically. Engine A, okay. Then engine B you have. You see, you have to understand the problem. First of all, you have to visualize this problem. You have to represent it diagrammatically. Means diagrammal. You have to draw a picture of this, a diagram of this problem. So then only you can solve this problem. It's very important to solve any problem on this chapter. So two Carnot engines are connected in series between two thermal reservoirs. So they are directly connected to each other, and these two are working between two reservoirs. So this is one reservoir whose temperature is 1000 Kelvin. Okay, you see I am explaining this to understand the problem. Later actual diagram I will show you in the next slide. So here it is connected to 100. So two engines which are in series are connected between two reservoirs. You see, try to understand this. Series between two thermal reservoirs maintained at 1000 Kelvin and 100 Kelvin respectively. So engine A receives, here it receives 1680 kilojoules of heat. It's very important. Try to understand every step, every sentence of this problem. Heat from the high temperature reservoir and rejects the heat to Carnot engine B. So whatever rejected, so there is a particular temperature at which this is rejected, because this is 1000, this is 100 here. So the intermediate temperature is not known. At this temperature, engine A rejects heat to engine B. So whatever is rejected directly given to the engine B. Engine B takes in the heat rejected by engine A and rejects heat to the low temperature reservoir. So this also receives some heat, converts part of that into work, and finally rejects some heat. So both engines do some work. Okay. So this is WB and this is WA. So this is, since it is an engine, so work output has to be there. So this is WA and this is WB. Okay. So this has to be there. So after doing some work, this rejects the heat to low temperature reservoir. Now if these two engines have same thermal efficiency or equal thermal efficiencies, so then you have to find out what is the heat rejected by the engine B. So this quantity you have to find out here. That I will solve in the next slide, no problem. Then the temperature at which heat is rejected by the engine A. That means this temperature you have to find out. The temperature means same temperature at which the B is absorbing. You see, the temperature at which heat is rejected by engine A, means the temperature, same temperature at which it is absorbed by engine B, and also you have to find out the work done during the process by engines A and B respectively. Okay, this is the actual diagram. So previous diagram just to analyze the problem because problem is shown there itself. So this is the diagram now. So TH is 1000 Kelvin, QHA is 1680. So this is WA, QHA minus QLA. So QLA is equal to QHB. Is QLA is corresponding to the rejected by engine A, which is absorbed by engine B. So it is written equal to QHB. Try to understand this. This is very, very important. Part of that is converted into work. So that is nothing but QHB, that is input to this engine, minus rejected QLB here. Then this is the sink temperature. So all of you have to remember this diagram. So all of you can note down this in a sheet of paper before I proceed to the next slide. So QHA is given. So we have the expression for eta A, that is efficiency of engine A. Now all of you should know, you might have observed a sentence, both are the reversible engines or the Carnot engines. That means the efficiency calculated in terms of heat quantity is equal to efficiency calculated in terms of temperature quantity. So only for reversible heat engine you can write these expressions. So this is the efficiency of the engine A, and similarly we have the expression for engine B, efficiency expression. Okay, 1 minus QLB by QHB, 1 minus TL by THB. So TL, okay, so there is a temperature of the sink. So that is why suffix is not written here. TH is the temperature of the main source, that is 1000 Kelvin. So this is 1000, this is 100. So there is no separate suffix is written for those two things. Okay, now he has given the condition that both of the engines have the equal thermal efficiencies. Now making use of this, you have to find out the intermediate temperature and all other heat quantities. Given eta A is equal to eta B. So this is what is given. So eta A is 1 minus TLA by TH from the previous slide, and eta B is equal to 1 minus TL by THB. So now here, since 1 minus you can because minus also gets cancelled, 1 also gets cancelled, so it becomes a TLA by TH is equal to TL by THB. So this quantity and this quantity directly you can equate, and after simplification here TLA by TH, first term as it is, so right hand side, so TL by, in place of THB it is written TLA, because THB, that means the temperature at which the heat engine B receives the heat is same as the temperature at which heat engine A rejects the heat. So THB is equal to TLA. So you can write, you can cross multiply this, TLA into TLA is equal to TLA square, which is nothing but TL into TH. Or here sometimes in the exam they will ask you to prove that this intermediate temperature is the geometric mean of the source and sink temperature. So here if you write the expression, I will write here TLA from this expression, that is TLA square is equal to TL into TH. So what you can write is TLA is equal to square root of TL into TH. What is TL into TH? It's the product of the source temperature and the sink temperature, or TH into TL also you can write. Now this is called as geometric mean. Arithmetic means TH plus TL by 2. So geometric means square root of TL into TH. So intermediate temperature is the geometric mean of the source and the sink temperature. So that is also they can ask you to prove in the exam. So now it is not asked, but just I told you for your information, because you should know that also. So here TLA square is equal to TL into TH. If you substitute, this is the answer. So TLA is equal to THB is equal to 316.23 Kelvin. Okay, this is the first answer. The intermediate temperature, the temperature at which the heat engine A rejects heat. You see very carefully written TLA, and it's also equal to THB. You see very carefully it is written. Okay, you should understand that. Okay, next. Okay, it is the temperature at which heat is rejected by engine A. Okay. Okay, now let us come to the second part. I think heat rejected by engine B we have to find out here, if I remember correctly. Okay, eta A is equal to eta B. So now all of you can calculate the efficiency, because you know the efficiency formula and the intermediate temperature also. Earlier you didn't have the intermediate temperature. So if you calculate for any one engine, it is fine. So you can calculate it for A, 1 minus TLA by TH, and if you substitute, you will get the efficiency as 68.4%. Now the heat rejected by engine B, you have to calculate. For that, you have to use the, let us first use the efficiency formula of the engine A. So WA by QH. Because why you have to start from here? Because here only heat quantity given in the question is or problem is QHA. So you have to start from the top and then you have to come down. Otherwise you can't although you are calculating heat rejected by engine B, you have to start from the top, from engine A. So here WA is nothing but eta A into QHA, cross multiplication, because you know eta A just now you calculated in this slide, QHA is given in the question, so you will get WA. Because WA, if you calculate, then easily you can calculate QLA, because WA is nothing but QHA minus QLA. So I request all of you to go through the diagram. You see the WA is the output of the engine A. Engine A is absorbing QHA, rejecting is QLA. So QHA minus QLA is WA always. Okay. So from this you can find out QLA, right, which is also equal to QHB. Very important. You see, that is why written here itself. QLA is also equal to QHB, which is nothing but from this expression, above expression, QHA minus WA. If you substitute, you will get it as 530.8 kilojoules. Now we will move on to the engine B. See, till here we have to come from the top, from engine A first. Now eta B, you see, eta B is WB by QHB. Now QHB just now you calculated, right? Eta B is same for eta A. Can't you calculate WB? Yes, WB is equal to eta B into QHB. So you will get it as 363.06 kilojoules. Now QLB also you can find out, because that is WB minus QHB, like here. Okay, right, QLA what you have done, same thing you can do it for QLB also, WB minus QHB, which you will get it as 167.74 kilojoules. Now here while doing this second part calculation, without my knowledge, so I finished the third part calculation also. What is that? The third question is asking us to calculate the work done by engine A and B. In fact, though our target is not that, we finished that calculation in this slide itself. You can see WA is here and WB is also here, and answer is here, 1149 and 363. Though it is supposed to be calculated in the next slide, so we finished that calculation here itself. Okay, coming to the number 3. So work done, already we calculated WA and WB. Okay, so I want to elaborate on that. Let us move on to the next question. A reversible refrigerator operates between 35 degrees C and minus 12 degrees C. If the heat rejected to 35 degrees C reservoir is 1.3 kilowatt, determine the rate at which the heat is leaking into the refrigerator. So it's a reversible refrigerator. You see, all of you have to look into this word, whether the reversible engine, reversible refrigerator or reversible heat pump is given, because that is the case wherein the efficiency calculated using temperature becomes equal to the efficiency calculated using heat and work. So now here the refrigerator operates between two temperature limits, 35 and minus 12, as all of you know. Here this absorbs heat from the reservoir at minus 12 degrees C and supplies it to reservoir at 35 degrees Celsius. And if the heat rejected to 35 degrees Celsius reservoir is 1.3 kilowatt, that means it is QH. Determine the rate at which the heat is leaking into the refrigerator. See, heat is leaking into the refrigerator means it is nothing but the heat to be absorbed by the refrigerator from the space to be cooled. You see, this is the space to be cooled, which is maintained at -12. So minus 12 is nothing but 261 Kelvin, and this is where heat is rejected, that is this high temperature, which is 35 degrees Celsius or 308 Kelvin. Now the heat rejected to 35 degrees Celsius reservoir, that is 1.3 kilowatt, is nothing but this data. QH is equal to 1.3 kilowatt. Okay, 1.3. Now he is asking us to calculate the rate at which heat is leaking into the refrigerator. You see, leaking into the refrigerator means what is entering into this, he is telling or is asking. But that is whatever the heat enters into this chamber or the cold space has to be removed by the refrigerator. So it becomes equal to QL. So that is what you have to understand. The heat leaking into the refrigerator is nothing but the heat removed from the low temperature reservoir or the low temperature space by the refrigerator. Okay, so TH is 35 308 Kelvin, TL is -12 261 Kelvin, QH is equal to 1.3 kilowatt. Now what you have to do is you have to find out QL, right? So first find out the COP using these two. Okay, then write the COP in terms of heat and work. Okay, there are many possible ways you can find out QL. One is you can find out W first, then W is equal to QH minus QL. So by that also you can find out QL, or directly you can use the formula. In place of W you can substitute QH minus QL. Okay, we'll see now. Okay, now for a reversible refrigerator, all of you know the COP formula. It is nothing but QL by W, because the desired output is QL here, required input is W. So W is nothing but QH minus QL, and only for reversible refrigerator this term, that is the COP formula, QL by QH minus QL, can be expressed in terms of temperature only for reversible refrigerator. Remember this. And if you substitute the temperatures given, you will get the COP as 5.553. Now QL, right, from here these two expressions, QL is equal to COP into QH minus QL. QL is equal to COPR into QH minus QL. So COPR is known, 5.553. So you substitute QL is equal to 5.553, open the bracket, QH minus 5.553 QL. So take QL to one side, so it becomes 6.553 QL is equal to 5.553 QH, and QL you will get it as 1.102 kilowatt. Okay, so that is what is asked and that is what we calculated. So with this I conclude this lecture number 5, and will solve more numericals in the coming lectures. Thank you.